And if you were to take away earmarks because they went to the NAACP or the Urban League, you would rightfully so be called racist bigots. But when you do it to the LGBT community, it's another frickin' day in Congress.
I want you to listen to this clip of Representative Mark Pocan, who is standing fiercely for the LGBTQIA community because of the clear bigotry that is coming from the Republican Party in power. This has always been about what they can get away with in power. Listen in.
This amendment brings this committee to an absolute new low. It is an embarrassment that this is before us. And because I have enormous respect for the subcommittee chair, I'm not going to ask him to defend these because I don't believe he actually believes these. But the fact that you would take away members' earmarks simply because they refer to the LGBTQI plus community is insane, is bigoted. You know, here we are talking about housing law in these three different earmarks. And if you look at the studies, the aggregate of all state available data shows the level of discrimination for gays and lesbians and gender identity is equal to that of discrimination in housing by race. And if you were to take away earmarks because they went to the NAACP or the Urban League, you would rightfully so be called racist bigots. But when you do it to the LGBT community, it's another frickin' day in Congress. This is below the dignity of this committee. There is absolutely no excuse. The fact that for too many people, unless they're personally affected, they don't give a damn. Think about our colleague, a member from, I believe, Pennsylvania, who voted against the Respect for Marriage Act, and that weekend went to his son's wedding to his same-sex partner. Think of the embarrassment that family went through at that point, and you all don't think about that. Think about me as your colleague. I told you the story about a plowing guy. Okay, fine, the guy doesn't want to plow my driveway. Whatever. But did I share with you when I used to get the article when I first ran for office where they wrote dead over your face and sent it to you in the mail? Or the time that when I wasn't out yet, left a gay bar and two people followed me and beat me with a baseball bat till I was bloody and unconscious and called me a fat. This is what you guys do by introducing amendments like this, taking away from people's earmarks. Is absolutely below the dignity of Congress and certainly the Appropriations Committee.
Well, that's the only place I disagree with them. This is not below the dignity of Congress. This is Congress 2023. And I fear that if our friends and colleagues and everyone involved, all of us who are trying to survive this moment, I fear that if we don't recognize that this is who they are, this is what they enjoy. If we don't recognize that, then we're going to find ourselves out of power completely with theocratic fascists running this country. There's no question about it. We must 100% recognize the threat that we are living through right now. The danger of this moment, because they're getting bolder. They are getting, can I say it again? They are getting more emboldened, right? They feel free to publicly call for the public execution of gay people in their churches. Republicans in power feel free to target people simply because they're gay, target their members of Congress. This amendment, the earmarks being taken out because they refer to the LGBTQIA community. They feel emboldened to do that because, well, they have a support base that's going to support them no matter what. And this is what I keep talking about when I talk about critical mass. Listen, it doesn't matter how ridiculous and absurd they can be. All that matters is that they have enough supporters to give them the comfort of not feeling like they're out there on their own being bigoted. You know, when they can go home to their communities and their neighbors are flying their blue thin line flag and their pro-Trump or their DeSantis country flags, and that's all they see in their communities. When their their loved ones still support them, when their wives still support them, when they can still go to the country club and get a pat on the back? Why would they stop? Why would they stop doing what they're doing? They get rewarded for this type of behavior. And if we don't recognize that negative incentive that they have, they get rewarded for this evil, bigoted behavior. If we don't recognize that they have the motivation to go even further, then we're going to miss the switch, the real inflection point. If we're not careful, there will be an inflection point where we don't have a voice anymore because they have obtained all of the channels of power. All of the levers of power can be in their hands. And do you think that they're going to stop their momentum? Why would they? This is the most successful period for white supremacy and these bigoted anti-LGBTQ homophobes. This is the most successful period they have had probably since, I don't know, Birth of a Nation, when that was played in the White House in like 1919, right? They are in a free-for-all because of how effective the hatred towards the trans community is. I mean, that is the most effective approach that they have ever taken, and they're running up the scoreboard. So what makes us think that they're not going to continue and go even further? And so it is incumbent upon us to not only call it out, and I absolutely love that clip. I apologize for not giving you a trigger warning in advance about the language, but it's an amazing clip because we absolutely must call them out to their faces. But behind the scenes, if we're not organizing to remove these people out of power, then we're just inviting them to go even further. They must be voted out. Some of them need to be impeached out. They need to be removed from power because they are not only going after the LGBTQIA community, they're going after Black people, they're going after Muslims, they're going after Jews, they're going after migrants and asylum seekers, and they're going after democracy. And they are deadly serious about it. And they have enough momentum. They have enough state legislatures to call for their own constitutional convention. Do you think they won't do that and change the Constitution in a way that will irrevocably destroy the democracy that we have come to know? They will absolutely do it. Look what they did with the Supreme Court.